Klein mountain bikes. In the crazy world of early 90s mountain biking, you couldn't get more 90s. Welcome to VVV, where we do vintage bike stuff and things, and today we have this striking and cool as ice Klein Attitude in the much sought after Dolomite paint scheme. Gonna build it up with some XT, and it's gonna be a pretty sweet bike. Now in the early 90s, as a young cycling enthusiast, this bike was close to the top of my theoretical I'm a professional something or other and have all the bikes in the world garage. Now why is that? Join me in this video to find out. This is Gary Klein, Mountain Bike Hall of Fame member and innovator and purveyor of all aluminum bicycles. In 1975, after graduating from MIT University, Gary, along with 3 other people, built a limited run of alloy frame bikes with prototype, larger diameter, thinner walled tubing. These bicycles were displayed at the International Cycle Show in New York and were met with enough interest that within a year, Gary had set up shop in some disused buildings on his parents' farm in Northern California. By the early 80s, he was producing top-of-the-line innovative road bikes using his patented process. In the mid-80s, it was clear that those all-terrain bicycle things were going to be a thing, so Klein got in the game with the Mountain Klein. Utilizing his OS alloy tubing and a traditional steel fork, this bike was light, stiff, and well-reviewed with some neat innovations such as square chainstays and a sloping top tube. Those bikes were pretty cool and all, but well, Gary wanted to take it to the next level, take it up a notch, raise the bar, reach for the stars. He wanted to create the Alumilution with aluminum forks, saving even more weight and perhaps adding some stiffness. Understandably, some manufacturers had their reservations. There had been aluminum forks on road bikes for quite some time, with varying degrees of success, but on mountain bikes, surely Klein had gone a little bit crazy. Gary came up with a solution that would in fact help usher aluminum to the forefront of mountain bike technology. He created a fork with his OS tubing and big, burly, strong welds, and he released the Attitude, the bike you see here today. Amazingly enough, although well-reviewed performance-wise, people thought this bike was ugly. I don't get it. I mean, if in the early 90s you wanted a very stiff and very light mountain bike, it had to be aluminum, and Klein were sitting at the top. Along with the OS tubing and that crazy fork, he had some other amazing innovations, such as the one-piece bar and stem combo that he dubbed Mission Control. All of these innovations clearly made it possible to do sweet jumps, and what is mountain biking without sweet jumps? The Attitude is an incredibly light bike for its time, like incredibly, legitimately light. Kind of like automobile manufacturers, bike builders at times have been known to compromise the strength in both the components and in the frame to shave those last few ounces and gain some more performance. Not so in the case of this bike. It is usefully lighter than most of its competitors of the day, but it is also most definitely stiffer. Klein had a lot of success racing, and the striking paint jobs and oversized tubes were always a crowd favorite, with Klein eventually becoming one of, if not the mountain bike for the rich and the famous, and that's basically the only people that could afford this bike. In 1995, Klein sold to Trek, and by 2002 all production had moved to Trek's Wisconsin facility. By 2007, Klein was essentially no more. Being lost in the vast Trek empire, no longer the innovator they once were, they were quietly dropped from the market, marking a kind of sad end to a really innovative and incredible company. But the bike on this stand. This bike is peak Klein, a grail bike that not only deserves to be treasured and appreciated, but also ridden as it was intended. And that's what this particular frame is for. It's been used. Clearly it was loved. It's not perfect, but that's exactly why it's perfect. It can be enjoyed as it was meant to be enjoyed. That pretty much wraps up this build. So I'm going to go ahead and cable up this bike, throw on some sick vintage smoke and dart tires, and hit the trails. Does this bike live up to its legend? It's time to find out. And what a legendary bike it is. It's an amazing ride. It's light as a feather, it's incredibly stiff. It's not what you would call plush, but on the flip side, it accelerates like a banshee and climbs like a mountain goat. It turns sharp due to its compact wheelbase and its steep head tube. And its overall disposition is fairly predictable, if not a bit aggressive. This must have been so fun to race. And just look at it. Flashy with its iconic tricolor paint scheme and oozing build quality, these thick uniform welds, the stiff square stays, and that now iconic and highly desirable fork, this bike definitely lives up to the legend. Today, Klein bicycles, particularly the mountain bikes from the early to mid 1990s before Trek came about, command a substantial premium on the vintage market, with collectors worldwide clamoring to get their hands on clean examples. I myself would like to keep this one and ride it every single day. But I'm not going to, and it will be for sale soon if you'd like to buy it on our website. So that's it for today. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. Also check out our socials and our website. We have over 500 vintage parts and bikes posted for sale. We have accessories. Like I said, everything vintage we have for you.